you're going to want to pay extremely close attention. The rules are changing, and if you don't know this information, you're more likely to be on the losing side than the winning side. I'm really excited about this. I'm rich. Dean Graziosi, Mike Filsaime, Katrina Ruth, Ryan Dice, the one and only Russell Brunson, Sonia Riccotti. We have Molly here, Todd Brown, Roland Fraser, Mike Dillard, Jeff Walker, Neil Patel, Dennis Hughes. I'm rich. Got me on my body, And I think that there's a high risk of mass extinction of internet business.
Millions of businesses, big and small, closed, pushing us into the worst global recession in history.
The writing is on the wall because things are changing, things are happening.
Change in the industry that's forcing people to evolve and adapt or basically die.
You need to see this to understand it. Something like that will happen. You can write it in blood.
If there was a tactic or strategy that you were most excited about, what would it be?
We can go as deep as you want.
I call this content sprouting.
These strategies work for any social media platform.
If you believe it's a good idea, you should stick with that.
When your business becomes part of someone's identity, that's when they stick.
This is really crazy. I don't know if I ever shared this with you. Waste the least amount of money to find that winner. That's how you win for $1 a day.
Now I have people that are on my list for 2 years that are still opening the emails.
To get this many amazing people in a room, just amazing.
We're about to take you behind the scenes.
I love what you're doing here. This is amazing.
If you want to know what's happening in the future, tune in now.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm Rich Schefren. This is a live stream where we're talking today about how to increase your influence, how to persuade more of your prospects without selling harder, without selling more, but by sharing more. Not sharing content as you would normally think, but sharing more of yourself, humanizing your content. That we live in an age now where influencers generally have more clout, bigger footprints than most gurus do today. And so as a thought leader or a guru or a maven or whatever you want to call it, if you're not humanizing your content, then your content is not ideal. You're not going to get the most mileage out of any of the social media platforms. So as a business, like, how do you do this? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a red shirt, very unusual, but I was doing I'm not even sure what I was doing today. I was on either a webinar or a coaching program or something, or a podcast. I'm not sure what it was, but it was with Jay Abraham and Alan Bernard. And anyway, I had to wear a black, they wanted me to put a black background behind me. And with a black background behind me, with a black V-neck on, I didn't put the hue lights back on. With my black V-neck on, it looked like I was a floating head. So I had to change my shirt. So I decided to wear a red V-neck, and I guess it has not, I have not yet. Oh, cool. Very cool. So now all the lights are back on. Yeah, cool. So hence why I'm wearing red. And there's a need to connect emotionally. Yes, there definitely is, Liz. So let's see. So that's what we're talking about today. If you've been on any of these live streams or you haven't, and this is your first time, either way, let me know that you're here. Say hi. Let me know where you're watching from, and I'll give you a shout out. And please comment and emote. One, it makes it much more interesting. I prefer answering your questions than just here pontificating for 2 hours. And so ask me any questions that you have. It is good for me to be able to answer your questions. It's also good for all the social media platforms to know that there are people actually watching, because then they show it to more people. And if you feel inclined, I would love it if you did. Please share. And if you do share, put the hashtag shared in the comments so that I can thank you personally for making all my dreams come true. And let's see what else is going on. I thought we would pull a bunch from I thought we would pull a bunch from my Evernote, as well as also from the Maven manifesto that I wrote years and years and years ago with Jay Abraham. And so I thought we would talk about that a little bit. For those that don't know much about me, like you're just seeing me maybe for the first time, been around for about 20 years, been coaching online for that long, coached a lot of people who are well known as gurus today, some of the biggest names out there. And I enjoy helping people grow their online businesses. And that's why I'm here right now, hopefully to help you grow your online business. So with that said, let's see who's here. Light audience today so far. I wonder why. Back to Diet Coke, guys. I was away from it for a few months, but fell off the wagon. Good to see you, Trader Rob, and thank you for being here for another adventure. And Riverview, Florida. Cool. Good to see you too, Rajesh. I got to move one of these, I guess, over to here. I wish there was a way I could. Oh, there is. Hold on. Can I? No, that's not going to work. Hold on. All right. Good to see you too, Rajesh. Sean McCool in the house. Good to see you, my friend. And Lisa in Miami. Good to see you. And Lewis. Good to see you on LinkedIn. Very cool that I'm getting comments from LinkedIn. Sharing in my group, Live Event Marketers. Appreciate that. The trailer rocks. Thank you, Milos. Milos, we should catch up. It's been a while. Rich is wearing red today as a YouTuber. Awesome issue this month, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I guess the new issue just came out. Already working on the next one. And I imagine, I don't know when all of this stuff is going to happen. Today, I was supposed to get a preview of the new platform, but because I had to be on that call with Jay and Alan, like I had to postpone it. So I'm not sure what our timeline is, but it's very possible that maybe by next month, the new platform will be, and the new platform is more than just like cool design. It's also going to dramatically make it easier to find what it is you're looking for based on the challenges that you have, or gurus you like, or whatever. There's a need to connect emotionally. Yes, there's a need to connect emotionally. And there's also this need for authenticity. And I'm still trying to figure that part out. I mean, I'm not trying to figure out how to be authentic. I feel like I am authentic. I don't, I'm not pretending to be something other than what I am. But what I have noticed, and I've mentioned this on the live stream before, that I've always been an open book. Like I don't keep any of my problems to myself. I share them. But I do notice that I don't know that, like, even though I share my problems, I don't know that I get that vulnerable. And I really question whether or not, like, I'm not purposely doing it, but am I like holding back in certain ways so that there's less of a connection, I don't know. But I do know that it's important that people feel like they know the real you, and that they think you're a quality human being, I guess would be, for lack of a better way of saying it. Brandon in Durban, South Africa, and Lara in Australia. Well, welcome, Lara. And Samuel in the Netherlands. Cool to see you, Samuel. And with the red t-shirt. Thanks, man. Kiev. Cool. Vasily is in Kiev. And Glenn is right down the road in Highland Beach, Florida. liked and shared. We need everyone to tune in here. Well, thank you so much, Louis. And hi, Rich, streaming from Mexico. Looking forward to meeting up during Orlando, Florida event, July 20th. Very cool. What is July 20th? July 20th. Am I supposed to be in Orlando, July 20th? If I am, I need to know that. Okay. Hey, Bad Sugar. I guess he's saying hello to someone else. Why do you drink that crap? I drink that crap because I'm addicted to it and I love it. I'm sweating on the treadmill to Rich Sheffrin. Oh, very cool. I've been doing F45. Yeah, Matt's email ran everyone off. Maybe. Let's see. Mike Lee. Hey, Rich. Henry in Ecuador. Cool, Henry. It's so cool, right? That like people from all around the world could be watching this at the same time. This is part 2. Was part 1 on Tuesday? Yeah, part 1 was on Tuesday. It's on YouTube and it's on Facebook. How do companies use business pages to connect emotionally? They tell stories of the impact that they have on their customers and clients and problems that they solve, etc. Look, if Domino's Pizza can make the case that they bring families together because the mom doesn't have to cook or the dad doesn't have to cook, and it's the kid's favorite food, or one of their favorites, pizza, right? So it's a time where no one has to slave in the kitchen and the whole family can come together and eat dinner together. If Domino's can talk about bringing families together, then I think any business page can find the human element of what they do, right? Like when I help an entrepreneur, like so many things change, right? The entrepreneur's life changes, the business changes, the business interacts with more customers, so their lives changes. The employees, there are more of them, and they're more successful, and they get raises, and the business grows, so there's more there. So there's a lot of stuff that could be talked about. And, since most people are either, they're buying a solution to a conflict, either a problem unresolved or a goal unattained, that there should be some emotional component, whether that's a coffee maker or a phone or anything else. They're like not that difficult to do. It's actually, I think it's more difficult, and you guys tell me if you disagree, because this is, I'm not basing this on any practical information, you could say, but I would imagine it's actually more difficult as a personality if you're someone like me who's somewhat reserved and kind of an introvert, of really kind of knowing what to share, what not to share. Because the last thing I want to do, like one of the reasons why I don't think I get that vulnerable is I don't want to bitch. Like, what's the point of that? Like, I don't even like when other people complain to me about stuff. So why would I want to complain to you? And why would you want to hear that? So yeah. Nir in Israel. Very cool. We got a few people from Israel. Good to see. Caraco. Jesus. Janelle. Cool. Ireland again. I wonder, Rich, do you think he went too far? Do I think who went too far? Do I think that Matt went too far? I thought that email was so like nothing. I don't know if that was manufactured controversy for the sake of controversy, or if that really like people got bent out of shape about it. Honolulu, Hawaii. Very cool, Martin. Barry Plasko, Mike Filsame. Very cool. Hey, Rich. Hi from London. Well, very cool, Mark. And Francisco's in the house. Very cool. And Portugal. And Zappy. Hey, Zappy. Good to see you, my friend. Zappy is the psychedelic concierge to the stars. And he has a new documentary out where he took Lamar Odom down to Mexico for ibogaine treatment, for ketamine treatments, and mushroom treatments, and to overcome his addictions and his problems of his past. And Zappy is also the first psychedelic stock guru for Agora. And he's a close personal friend. And we did a ketamine meditation a couple days ago. I think like 3 days ago, more for Kim, but since Kim was doing it, I partook, and it was enjoyable. More or less sounds great. I'm about to get restraining orders from promoting a great speaker and offer, not you, Rich, this time, which doesn't seem to resonate with my associations. More for less sounds great. I'm about to get restraining orders from promoting a great speaker and offer, which doesn't seem to resonate with my associations. I don't understand what you're talking about, but okay. Oh, okay. Am I going to that event? I got to talk to Phil soon about that. Mass real estate, Boston, Mass. Cool. Thanks, Rich. Helpful guidance to consider agreed introverted personalities. Yeah. All right. So cool. So we're ready to dive into this. I'm curious. Matt's email almost gave me a heart attack. Wait, why am I not? Hold on. All right, there we go. Hide that. There we go. Matt's email almost gave me a heart attack because he wants to bury his dad. I think that's kind of normal. Definitely wants to eclipse him, which I totally get. So I'm curious, like, how many of you guys have read, and I won't be insulted, but how many of you have read even if you did it like 10 years ago, the Maven manifesto that Jay Abraham and I wrote? Let me know if you've read it or not. And as you're doing that, I'm pulling this up here. Let's see. Okay. I don't know why some of it's. Oh, I want to get paused. What are all these things? Just accept all, I guess. Accept all. All right. So wait, accept all. Final. There we go. Accept all changes. Final. All right, cool. That's annoying, right? All right, so let's get back here. Yeah, let me know. Have you guys, I know about it, but I didn't read it. All right, cool. So I see one person, Samuel, has told me, but let's see if I can share it, and we'll kind of dive through it a little bit real quick, and that'll be where we'll start. All right. Oh, wow, is it only showing on what's on this screen? Interesting. Okay, cancel that. So I got to bring that over. Bring this over. There. And dead air, which you never should have. It'd be great to one day be able to do this better. There we go. Share. Cool. All right. So is that readable? Let me know if that's readable. And I think I can make this a little bit bigger. Maybe here. Yeah. All right. Can you guys read? Like, is it legible? Let me know if it's legible. I want to. So one thing you should know, it's still out there, and I can put this in the. Oh wow. Okay. So there's some errors in here. This is an older version, but can you guys see it? A wee bit small. Okay. Let's get rid of me then. Oh, okay. That's not making any difference. So let's see if I can do that, and then do this, and maybe even a little bit bigger. Let's do. All right. All right. So there you go. All right. So I wrote this report back in, I believe, 2008. And the whole argument here, so I had what I had written prior, just to clarify and get everyone on the same page. What I wrote earlier was this. I had written the Attention Age Doctrine 1 and 2. In the Attention Age Doctrine 1, I set up this assertion that attention was going to become the scarcest commodity online. And what are the implications of that? And so the attention age doctrine one was all the implications about it for you, the entrepreneur, in your life, in your business, and also like some of the early implications I believe would happen from prospects and customers, right? And then I realized, like after I wrote that report, that where attention was going to go was to social media. And you got to remember, this is 2000. Well, I think I wrote the Attention Age Doctrine 1 in 2007. I wrote 2 in 2008. So in the beginning of 2008. So by 2008, I had, I thought that where people's attention was going to go was to Web 2.0 social media. And and there were going to be a lot of implications of that, because now prospects were no longer just targets. They were also the best single channel that you had from a marketing standpoint. When prospects become publishers, when prospects become video creators, when prospects become Facebook posters or tweeters or whatever else, then they're not only a target anymore, they're your single best channel to find other prospects and customers when leveraged correctly. And that there are a lot of things that change as that happens, right? And so that's where the Attention Age Doctrine 2 was all about. And in the Attention Age Doctrine 2, I also said, like talking about the rise of social media and what was going to happen there, and I also talked about how there would be a rise of authorities, that because of the explosion of choice and the limited attention that we all have and too many demands for our attention, we'll look for shortcuts. And one of the ways that we find shortcuts is by finding someone who's an authority in that, or an expert in that, or maven in that, to kind of cut away all the BS and help us get an outcome or get a result or get advice without having to put in all the attention effort, right? So that was in the Attention Age Doctrine 2, where I said this would happen. And then later on that year, Jay and I decided, after Jay had read it, he was like, oh, well, this will be good for us then, if you're right about this, since we're the people that position gurus, him and I. And I was like, yeah, exactly. And so we decided to create a program and compare notes, and kind of like what he's done for the Tony Robbins and Stephen Covey's of the world, and what I've done for the Russell Brunsons and those people of the world, and like put this program together. And fortunately for me, like I have an eye for spotting like what future trends are, as well as like future personalities. And at the event, Gary Vaynerchuk was a guest of mine there because he was speaking at the earlier portion, which was open to all of my clients. This is before Gary was really well known. And so Gary, me, and Jay taught this course on how to be a maven in the market. And let me get rid of myself here. So, well, this is not important to read. So when it's important to read, I'll pull it up. So yeah, so it was me, Gary, and Jay, and talking about how to be a authority in the market. Now, I will tell you that in writing this report, I made some mistakes that, like, if I, no regrets, but made some mistakes. And the mistake I made was, and for those that don't know, like what I used to do is I'd write a report. The report would be, I would do my best to make it valuable and really discuss about what was happening, what was going to happen, what is currently happening, etc. And my goal in every report was just to get it read and have the prospect who read it feel like they got value, even if they didn't buy, so that they would at least read my next report and I'd have another chance. And the report would go out, then I would have a conversation with the marketplace, and then I would sell a course that I hadn't created yet, and then would create it as I delivered it. And Jay and I did that as well. And what's interesting is that this report, so this report, I made some mistakes, and the main mistake I made was I gave away way too much. So whereas most of my other reports were much more conceptual, giving you an overview, this one went into a little bit too much content or content that you could actually run with. And from a marketing standpoint, that's less than ideal because it scratched the itch, right? But it happens to be a damn good report because of that. And in fact, this is still used at Agora to position their gurus. So I'm going through this, but really I just want to get to this one spreadsheet at the end, which would yeah. Why is this too big? Okay, hold on. And can I reduce it down to fit width? No, it's not in the width though. All right, hold on. Let's do fit page. No, that's too small. Oh, that's all. Yeah, so that's out of the picture. Great. All right. Fit width. All right. All right, so let's get to, it is a good read though, and there's a lot of good stuff in it. All right. So here are the 11 suggestions, the 11 elements that you can use to dramatically increase your positioning in the marketplace, right? So the first thing is clearly articulate your market's hopes, fears, and problems. Feel its pain, identify gaps in service or quality, state the problem better than anyone. Now, there's a lot to that, right? There's this idea that, well, the first thing is that anyone that's ever done coaching, you should be a great marketer. And if you're not a great marketer, then I wonder how much you were paying attention when you were actually coaching. Because in order to be a good coach, you have to listen to your clients. And when your clients open up to you, you should hear similar problems, right? And what you should definitely know, right, is that what people share with a coach is the same thing that is asked of any marketer, which is what keeps your clients up at night. Because in order for me to coach someone to help them, they have to tell me what's on their mind, what they're struggling with, what their deepest concerns or fears are, and what their goals are. And so once I know that, right, and I know that for enough people in the market so I can see the pattern, then it's relatively easy to articulate. And I'm not saying that like it's easy for me and it's difficult for you. No, it's easy for anyone if you listen to enough conversations, right? And so one of the things that I was told all the time when I used to write reports using the information that I got from coaching was, oh my God, I felt like you were describing me. It felt like you were standing over my shoulder watching me and describing like everything I'm struggling with. And so along those lines, like, what have you done this? Have you recognized, like, do you recognize the challenges and do you express those challenges in a very empathetic way that your clients are struggling with? Like, like, for example, if someone is overwhelmed and frustrated, right, that they're not getting enough done, like, you can talk about, like, I know how much it haunts you every night when you put your head on the pillow, your head hits the pillow and you didn't get done a fraction of what you thought you would have gotten done when your head got off the pillow this morning. I know what it's like to wake up the next morning and know that you not only have the work that you were planning on getting done today, but half the work that you didn't get done yesterday. And, and just building out a story like this. And the more that you're able to articulate what they feel, the more that they lean in. Most human beings feel like misunderstood. And they also feel that most things do not apply to them, right? When they come across something where they feel understood, they automatically assume it applies to them, and they are now at home, right? So that's incredibly important. And I'm not talking about like trust you as a person. Trust that I'm in the right place, getting the right advice from the right company. I'm in the right hands. And that happens by being able to articulate their situation, their problem, their pain in a way that gets the head nodding and being exactly, that's right. So one of the things that was really interesting to me, like when I first came across Christopher Voss's work, the negotiation guy, was how similar his negotiation strategies are to my marketing strategies. About my goal is to get people to say that's right. Like, and Chris Voss talks about how when you're negotiating, you're not trying to get the person to say you're right. You're trying to get the person to say that's right, that you really understand where they're coming from. And it's the same thing as what I'm talking about here. So that's the first one, right? Can you articulate the challenge, the emotional challenge, everything that's associated with it that your prospects are struggling with their conflict, right? And a conflict, goal unattained, problem unresolved. It can be a positive or a negative. Nonetheless, it's a conflict. Okay, next is establish personality traits that make the maven more human and familiar in the eyes, and more importantly, the minds of the marketplace, anchor your persona in the minds of your market. Okay, so this is about and this is what we were talking about on Tuesday, where I said, like, one of the things that I always do is I end up talking to the spouse, right? Husband or wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, of the personality that we're building. And the reason I do is I want to know what things they would say are so that person, right? So if you asked Kim, what would Kim say, like girlfriend, what things are so Rich, right? Like, what things, if Rich did, would you say, oh, that's so him, right? And any other like repetitive type of things that this person does, or habitual or consistent. And the reason for that is that we're trying to build a character that not only a real, like, this person exists, like I exist, right? But we're trying to crystallize how to make it easier to remember this person by creating certain personality traits, or exaggerating certain personality traits, or just showing those personality traits that make the person just more human, right? And that's what I mean by what I was saying earlier about humanizing your content. Are there certain foods that you eat? Like, so we know, right? Like that I typically wear a black shirt, not a red one. I quit Diet Coke for a few months, but normally Diet Coke is my drink. And there's lots of jokes about that amongst my friends. Like Molly Mahoney was telling, and I think I think that's a next month's issue. I don't know if it's in this month's issue or next one, but the first time I met Molly Mahoney, I was going over to her house to meet her, and someone told her, make sure you have Diet Coke. And so she got like one can, and like I finished that can in about 2 seconds. So, it's people who know me know this, right? And so you want to look at leveraging those things first, because first of all, why not have it based on truth? And two, you already have certain quirks. We all do. It's about leveraging them, leveraging who you really are, so that your market feels like they know you, right? And look, those that know me best know that I'm an introvert. I am so much more comfortable, like in a one-on-one situation. And that other person has to be someone I know. So, I don't ever go up to people and introduce myself. I don't even feel comfortable talking to people unless I know them. Like, it takes me a little while to warm up to people, and I'm a real introvert. And but figuring out like how to make yourself easier to put in a place in the head, like who is this person, how do they act, etc., is critical, like absolutely critical. Okay, next, vision for the marketplace. Why does your company exist? What problem are you trying to solve? Right? What is the ultimate goal? Like, why are you here? What's the dream or cause that others want to be a part of? Right? So I've shared this with you guys before, right? I've shared with you that I believe that what I learned from Werner Erhard, right? Like, commit to a cause that's bigger than yourself if you want to rise above how you wound up being and like rise to greatness, right? Because what pulls you to greatness is a cause bigger than yourself. And what I believe that most entrepreneurs have, but they don't even realize it, is that for many entrepreneurs, not all, but for many entrepreneurs, you're solving a problem that you had as a child or that you were deprived of as a child. Like I said, not always, but very often, right? So for me, right, I love working with entrepreneurs. I love helping entrepreneurs grow their business and to be successful with it. And it gives me a lot of positive feelings to know the impact I've had. So, from that standpoint, that's wonderful. What drives me, though, is the fact of that I believe that the only way that you can have real freedom to live your life the way you want and to express yourself the way you want is by having your own business, by being an entrepreneur. And I was deprived those things as a child, right? So because of that, it's very real to me what the feeling is of not having that, of not having your freedom, of not having a voice. And I don't want to see anyone else suffer. So because of that, right, I want to make entrepreneurship as easy as it can be. Not any easier than it can be, because like that's the area of bullshit and scummy gurus. But as easy as it can be, I want to get the right tools in the right people's hands so they can be successful. I want to do the best interviews I can so that information gets to people. And my vision for the marketplace is a place where it's a lot easier to build a successful business, a business that gives you the freedom that every human being should have, right? The security of knowing that you can take care of yourself and take care of others, that pride, etc. Right? So the vision for the marketplace, like one thing that Jay used to always talk about is like I have a bigger belief in you than you have in yourself, that I see a bigger future in your future than you even see. I have a bigger hope for you than you might even have, because I know what's possible. I've seen it. I've witnessed it 1,000 times. You haven't. I know, right? And so having a vision for your marketplace and a vision for their future that's bigger than even their own vision for their future is powerful. Is this helpful? Let me know. Like, I'm going to go back to the comments here for a second, because we're still working on my setup here, and so I don't have my normal setup. Although I guess I could just put that below. Yeah. So next time it'll be better. But anyway, let me just check in here. All right. Let's see. Okay, lots of you haven't read it. Haven't read it. For shame on you guys. Okay, let's see. I know. Okay. What is the best thing you wish happens tomorrow for the growth of Steal Our Winners? I'm here from the beginning and wonder about the growth rate you have chosen. I just want it to get better and better. And the first big thing that was like a real sticking point for me was that I felt like the platform that we have Steal Our Winners in really conveyed the wrong feeling. So the experience was completely wrong. I don't think that the issues should be packaged in the way it's packaged right now. It gives the feeling like you should be watching them in order, that you should even be watching them all. And the way I described it to a friend the other day was, I feel like we have the world's best buffet. But instead of letting people like come up and see the wonderful food and choose what's right for them, we are taking every dish and putting it on a plate and bringing it over to the table until the table gets so full and so cluttered, you can't even find the dish that you want. So that's my complaint about Steal Our Winners. I think the content is so valuable, but the way that we're presenting it downgrades it. At least the experience of it, the appearance of it, etc. Right? So that's first and foremost. And, the price will consistently raise, and that's to make everyone who buys early feel good. Like, people who know me know that, like, when I did the mystery box offer, I charged $30. I told people it would be worth at least $1,000. It was actually like $5,000 worth of stuff, because I want people who trust me to feel rewarded. And I want that so that it's easier next time when I say trust me, that people do, right? So I'm happy with the growth, but I'm much more happy about the quality of content that we're delivering, that there's been no pitches in it, that it's everything that I wanted it to be. The contributors have given so freely. And it makes me really happy that I get to go to all these other masterminds out there and tell these masterminds about our contributors, because I don't take credit for any of these strategies or tactics. These are our contributors' strategies and tactics. So, whether it's getting 7 of them, like, in this book, or whether it's sharing, this is the J. Abraham, Rich Sheffrin, getting everything you can out of what's hot online. Yeah, that's what I'm happiest about. And the growth will happen on its own as long as we're taking care of everything that we need to. All right. So let's see. When I hear Rizvi, I think of Buck first, not Matt. After all, I spent a lot of face-to-face time with Buck, and that has brought me a lot of luck. All right. The Matrix report. This is fun. I'm on mobile, so it's hard to read because it says home. Because it says home. All right. Well, maybe that'll be better then. Yes. Far better. Thanks. Okay. Lara, long input. In my opinion, personal disclosure is less about complaining or criticizing about others, because we don't need to defame people or their reputation. Totally agree. But rather, it's more about sharing the effect that their behavior had upon you emotionally, physically, or financially. By naming the bad behavior and the pain you felt by it, this is where connection is created. Not necessarily I'd never talk about the person, and it could have just been my own mess up, right? Not necessarily in labeling a person as a bad person, because we all have shit moments or days at times, but rather, is the rest here? No. Okay. Small. Hey, Rich, appreciate all the live stream shows you do. A real inspiration, man. Thanks, Cam. And glad to see you again. Thank you, Daryl, for sharing. Shared 5 times. Vogelman, you rock. That's right. You're right. Yep, exactly. The personality that we are building, are you emphasizing or slightly magnifying traits to manufacture fame? No, you are potentially emphasizing or slightly magnifying. Yes, you are. You're emphasizing or slightly magnifying traits, not to manufacture fame, to be easier to remember, to be a more interesting character, right? Most people lead lives of quiet desperation. They're bored. They're not happy with their life. And you want to be a distraction from it, not a confirmation that everyone's life is like that, right? There are certain friends that, like, I know I'm going to have a good time if they come around. You want to be that for your prospects. Like, I have certain friends, they're always going to have a new story. There's like something happened, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Vogelman. Better dead than red, or red than dead, right? When you said you gave too much away, how do you structure the process of outlining the concepts and giving enough, but not too much of what is in the offer? Does that run contrary to the Dan Kennedy aha moment you had? What's the sweet spot? No. Well, so the sweet spot is, if you read like Well, the first thing I'd say, Adrian, is if you compare the manifesto, right, like the Internet Business Manifesto, to the Hidden Obstacle Report, you'll see that how different they are, right? And hold on, just grab it. And what makes them so different is that, like in the manifesto, I'm real like there was an exercise or two, but I'm really trying to minimize the friction, right? Like I'm really trying to make sure that I'm trying to make sure that there's no reason for the reader to stop. There's no work that needs to be done, that they can just breeze through it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the content I want to provide is much more about a reframe of the problem and therefore a new solution, or a change in context that therefore requires a change in behavior. I want it to be much more the what and the why, and not so much of the how, right? Some of the how, explaining the how, but not getting into so much detail, and not like there shouldn't be a lot of homework after they finish the report. They should be done. And so by giving so much, like giving examples and then giving them this grid of stuff to do, like there was no reason to sign up for a course, because you're already, like, even if I had told you that like you needed to become a maven and you agreed with that, you now had work that you could do that, as opposed to like, what should I do first, second, and third? We sold it okay. I mean, we did sell millions of dollars worth of it, but it was like, in comparison to some of my other reports, I realized that that was part of the problem. I definitely work the quirk. Yeah, you do. I've seen your, yeah. Sometimes people think I'm mad at them or I'm being rude, when really that's just who I am, and maybe even a little bit on the spectrum. I'm an introvert who shows up like an extrovert at times. Yeah, I mean, Jay Abraham used to like compare me to House, like the TV show. Like, a mad scientist, but Todd Brown likes Diet Coke and cigars. Well, so do I. Jay Abraham likes water and wine, and Frank Kern likes whiskey and beer. I like whiskey. Jack Daniels is what I drink, and Diet Coke and cigars. Not crazy about wine, and don't like beer. I've gone from introvert to ambivert, who appears to be an extrovert, basically a performer at heart. That's cool. Hey, Rich, what would be your cause bigger than you? The cause bigger than me is that in a world where more and more people have less freedom, I want more and more people to have freedom. I want people to have the ability to build something that they're proud of, that lives beyond them, that gives their family security, that makes a difference in the world, etc. Experiencing a physical states can propel us to free others. Exactly. Super helpful. Cool. It's awesome. Cool. Rich, what's your biggest email marketing course you ever taken, from who? I never really took an email marketing course. I mean, I guess if you like, I would say autoresponder madness, like, Andre Chaperone's course. That's probably like the only course that I've really like religiously went through on email. I'm not a big email writer, so, and I prefer to avoid email personally. I haven't gotten a copy of this document. Would like a link to it, please. Sure thing, Lara. Lara, are you a member of our Facebook group? Because that's where I'll put it. I'll put it in our Facebook group. And the Facebook group, free to join. Strategic. It's just called Strategic Profits, and lots of heavy hitters in there. And I share a lot of my content in there. So yeah, it's just Facebook group Strategic Profits. This stuff is very powerful. Cool. I want to read it. Where can I find it? You'll find it in the Facebook group when we're done. What is Steal Our Winners? Is it a membership or program? It's a membership, and what we deliver each and every month are anywhere from 8 or more strategies and tactics that are currently crushing it right now that the world does not know about. So we have about 100 plus contributors, everyone from Ryan Dyson, Russell Brunson, Todd Brown, Ryan Levesque, Jordan Menard, Nick Shackelford, James Von Ellswick, the people from Build, Grow, Scale. Pretty much every top marketer is a contributor, and they contribute when they have something new, because that's when things work best. And that's what Steal Our Winners is. Let's see. I will be sending you email soon about something that may interest you. Cool. Glad to hear it. Monthly membership of Cutting Edge What's Working Now. Oh, cool. Thank you, Dr. Vogelman. Being a more interested in carrying it is a great way to get people's attention. Exactly. Hitesh just jumped on. Thanks for the live stream, Rich. My pleasure. Mark Thompson just hopped on too. Thanks for the streams as well, and also for letting me know about Strategic Alliance Live. It was a phenomenal event. Very cool, Mark. Glad to hear that. Thank you. You're welcome, Lara. I love this. Seems so seamless, meaning there's no pitch, so no defined call to action. Is there a definite CTA deadline for a course? So how and when do you monetize all the education? Well, there's no call to action here. John, I've been around for so long like that. I have, I've done well in this online thing. Some might even call me internet famous. Thank you. You're welcome. Rich, the report credit to launching your business, is that available somewhere? Yes, it's called the Internet Business Manifesto. Well, that was, are you guys still here? Let me know if you guys are still here, please. Yeah, let me know if you guys are still here. Oh, cool. All right. Well, that was weird, and I apologize for that. I think we lost our internet connection, but it's back on. So here we go. All right. Let me get this shared again. So here, share the Maven manifesto, and there we go. All right, and then make it a little bit bigger. Although that, just get rid of myself. All right, there we go. All right, cool. Let's continue on. Okay, so the creation story. Okay, what is the ultimate goal of Maven? We just went over that. That's a cause bigger than yourself. The next is a creation myth. The story about the beginnings of the Maven and their brand. Where did it start? Why? And who were the players involved? So, you know, I've told this story a lot in when we used to do a webinar for my coaching program. And in that coach, right? Like, and here's the story for those that don't know. I'm going to tell you an abbreviated version, right? But you know, here's the gist. You know, my first business was in the fashion business, and my store became, you know, like the hottest store in Manhattan for a period of time, and all the designers shopped at our store, and was the first store to bring in a bunch of brands like Diesel into the United States. Then from there, I started a music label, techno music label, and Warner Chappell was our distributor in the US, Avex Records in Japan. I forget who it was in Europe. And from there, I went into the hypnosis business and built the world's largest hypnosis centers. And then 9/11 happened. Then I decided I didn't want to live in New York anymore and moved down here to Florida and then started my online journey. But when I first started, I tried to do everything myself because I bought into the belief that maybe you really could check your email from the beach and your sales and, work an hour a day. And it took like 2 years for me to realize that I was treating this business like I had not treated any of my previous businesses. And I was writing in my journal one day, bitching about the lack of progress I was making. I had never made less money. I'd never been working harder. And I was like really wondering what the hell is wrong with me? Like, what am I doing wrong? I think I'm smarter than most of these people, but somehow they're able to make it work and I can't. And I was writing about this in my journal and started to put together like all the things that I needed to get done, all the things I was responsible for, etc. And that's where the U diagram came from. I was looking for it. Oh, here it is. Just found one the other day, just coincidentally. I guess we had a bunch made like at one point. And as we've been like, oh wait, you can't even see it, but there's the U diagram, right? Like in here. And for those that don't know, this was the cover. This was part of the cover of the Internet Business Manifesto. And because it's a critical piece of that. And anyway, that came from the beginning of it, came from my journal where I was writing about all the things I was doing. And it was only when I saw that picture of how ridiculous what I was trying to do that I realized that the reason I was making less money in this business than any other business because I was treating it differently than every other business. And it is no different. And that's when I started to realize that I could leverage other people for many different things. And it was much more about like running plays, like as like the coach than it was about being on the field every day. And that was the beginning of the change for me. And so that's my origin story. My origin story when I had the hypnosis centers was more about how I used to be 250 pounds. I was really fat. I was like a loser. I was failing out of school, right? And it wasn't until a specific event that where my life really turned around, etc. And so it was more about that. Like there's always some like story of what brought you here. Why are you lucky right now that I am here? And I'm not saying that right now, but like from a standpoint, why is today your lucky day? Because you came across me. Right. And but I have a lot of creation stories, right? They're all true. I think with many of you, like at some point, I know I've shared like how Jay and I became close. So I have that story. I have like a lot of those stories and they're valuable and people remember stories and they remember qualities about you through your stories. So let's go back to predictable. Okay. So that's a creation story, predictable behaviors. Unique things you do or say that your market expects. In other words, they are predictable. And just like you can predict how a loved one, not a loved one, or close friend is going to behave, you want the market to feel they can predict your behavior, right? So you know that when we wrap up, I'm going to say to higher profits. You know that I'm going to generally, like we were talking about earlier, wear a black shirt, right? These kinds of things. Okay, polarizing points of view. Views that will resonate with your target clients but might offend others. It separates your market into believers and non-believers. The denunciation of companies and practices in your market that are cheating your customers out of the value they should expect, right? So, yeah, like the more polarizing you can be, the better. The better to be loved or hated than tolerated. This takes more confidence. I certainly don't share all my polarizing points of view, and maybe over time I will become more bold. But I certainly have some, right? Like I certainly believe that people who sell inferior products would be better off stealing your money, because at least they wouldn't be stealing your time, your dreams, your hopes, and your possibilities. But yeah, I think that sharing a polarizing point of view, like, you know, so much of what works online is, well, or selling in general, is emotionally based, and you have to tap into people's emotions. Special phraseology, right? Your iconic phrases and terminology that make you utterly unique in your market. Your primary communication channels. So for me, they've switched over time. I used to be a report writer. Nowadays, I'm much more on video, and I'd like to get more and more comfortable on video. So it's something that I'm working on. The velvet rope. The elements that make your clients, prospects, and staff feel special, better than outsiders, part of a special group. So, you know, we will get to that. It's not a forte of mine, but I think probably the person who's done it best in our market is Russell Brunson. You know, people see themselves as funnel hackers, right? Like, we want to create that kind of specialness, this community that knows things that outsiders don't. I mean, in Steal Our Winners, we know what's currently working online better than anyone. And we have access to all those. And what does that make us? Who does that make us, right? And that kind of thinking is thinking that is well needed by many businesses that I see. Like, understand this, right? Like, this is a little bit of a tangent, but not much. That other than during COVID, the cost of acquisition has consistently gone up online for the last 20 years. Doesn't go down. It only goes up, except during like during COVID. So that trend should continue. And because it continues, what that means is that, you know, obviously it'll become increasingly more expensive to get a customer. Like, you know, and the trend is that today will be the cheapest it will ever be to get a customer. Tomorrow it will be more. In the future, it will be even more. Of course, you could have a winning campaign and your price is low specifically to you because of that campaign. But in general, the price overall is going up. And since the price is going up, which means getting customers will only get more expensive, and they will be more expensive next month than they are this month. They'll be even more expensive in a year and a month, and they'll be even more expensive in 2 years and a month. So what you have to do is hold on to your customers for longer so that you can recoup that, right? And so I know a book came out. I haven't read it, but I thought it was a clever title because it was something I was thinking about, called The Forever Customer, where you want to hold on to customers as long as humanly possible. That becomes a lot easier when they feel special because they're a part of your business, that they feel special that they're part of your community, right? And who else is in the community? So that's part of the process, right? Customer evangelist, techniques to motivate your customers to spread the good news of your superior service, right? So that's, you want people like singing your praises. What I think, which I didn't put in here, but I had already written about it prior, I wrote about it in the Attention Age Doctrine too, right? What I was saying earlier, that prospects are no longer targets, they're also your best marketing channel. And when you truly get that, which I don't think very many people have, when you truly get that, you realize that you have a lot more prospects than you have customers. And if there's a way to get prospects to share your message with other prospects, that's a lot more powerful than getting customers to share, because you just have a lot less of them. And so my success, my initial success, was based on how much my reports got shared by people who downloaded it, not by people who bought from me, them too, but not only them. I mean, the first month of the manifesto, it got passed around a ridiculous amount, and there were no customers because Strategic Profits didn't have any products. So I just want to kind of like underscore this point that, like, if you can put something in your prospects' hands that can kind of like play the role of social currency. In other words, like a joke, when I tell you a joke, if you remember that joke and you tell it to someone else, I've just given you social currency. I've given you something that makes you more valuable socially. So if I explain like a new, like a deeper cause to the problems you have that you also share with friends, you're more prone to tell them about it because you just discovered something they don't know. Right. And so, like, if you discovered something that got you to the top of the search engine rankings, like, all you had to do was like turn a switch and it happened and you were making a lot of money from it. Like, which friends of yours would you want to tell? You'd feel compelled, you'd feel bad about yourself if you didn't tell some of your friends, right? Like, that you were being selfish. So same thing, right? Like, if I can create something that you find so valuable that you feel compelled to share it with friends, you're now tapping into a huge channel. Right. So just something to think about, especially because most people, like I wrote here about customers, the real impact point is to get beyond just customers, to have everyone talking about you, have other people sharing your stuff. Mentors and advisors, the guide who understands how to anchor you in the minds of your prospects as the preeminent authority and a trusted advisor in your niche. Okay. That one is not as clear to me. But I hope that's helpful. And yeah, I will certainly put this report in, I just got to find the best version of it. I think there's some spelling errors in this one, but if I can't, I will put this in the Facebook group later today. All right. So let's go now back to me. And now I want to share something else. I want to go to something else that is a Evernote note. So let's see. Where is it? I think I put a link to it in here. So hold on. Did I? No, I don't see it there. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second, guys, as I figure out where I put this. And what I'm looking for is, let's see. Let's see. Okay, there. And then, all right. That's that. Oh, that's not, okay. And I am finding it. Hold on. Questions to uncover your authority. Okay, that's the name of it. And now I just got to find it in my Evernote questions to uncover. All right. All right. So now we will move this to the screen and we'll go over the next one. Cool. All right. So let's take a look now. All right. Let's remove this from the thing. Stop screen. Cool. Now let's add one. And let's do window there. All right. Oh, damn it. Can I go back? There we go. All right. And can I make this bigger? View, zoom in. View, zoom in. All right, cool. Okay, so here are a bunch of questions to answer to help find the material to really boost your authority, right? So, what are your accomplishments? I've shared a lot of mine. I'm not gonna like be redundant with them, but let's just make sure that you guys are with me still. Yeah, okay, cool. So what have you accomplished? We've all accomplished things. What have you accomplished? Who has endorsed you? What are your credentials? Do you have some kind of status, societal or business? Your callers either want or admire. This list originally came from Michael Cage from his course on teleseminars. That's why it's referencing callers. What success stories do you have? Do you have your own personal success story about using the information that you're going to be talking to them about? Why do you care about them and why are you doing it? Right? What's that greater cause? It's another way of asking it. If people believe that you really care about them, that you have a purpose for helping them get what they want, they will lend even more authority to what you say. Do you have access to people, information, and resources that they either wish they had or that they associate with experts? Right. And that's one that, like, for me, right, most people recognize that my Rolodex, my Rolodex of online marketing and direct response is close to second to none. Right. With the number of people I talk to on a weekly basis, all the contributors to Steal Our Winners, Agora, Jay Abraham, etc. Like, yeah, my Rolodex is deep. So I have access to pretty much everyone. What myths can you bust? What shared enemies do you have? Is there something happening in the industry that they don't like? What have you done for the people on your call in the past? Don't appear desperate or needy. What guarantees can you make? How can you be specific instead of general? How many before and after stories can you tell? What secrets can you reveal? How can you let your callers know you understand them, their pain, their situation, their problems, and their goals? Were you one of them at one time? Did you know someone that was one of them and decided to make a mission of helping them because of it? How can you become a champion of your callers? What super expensive or elite services do you offer and sell? I'll often mention that I'll charge $15,000 to $20,000 for a short consulting agreement when I'm trying to sell the $1,000 product, because it creates a contrast and additional authority to what I'm saying. If people are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars, or certainly $1,000 is worth it, right? Yeah, and that makes total sense. I don't talk about it that often, but like Jay and I had $1 million program where people paid us $1 million to help them grow their business 25 million. So yeah, I would agree with everything that's on that list, and I hope that list was helpful for you guys. I want to go back to the questions now. Let me know if that list was useful. Okay, let's see. Okay, we are still here. Yes, thank you for sticking around. Cool. The interwebs have been very glitchy this week. Yeah, apparently. I thought it was mine. Nope, it was mine. Cool. All right. Some marketers say build the relationship from the beginning, just like you are dating. So still a good idea to sell on the first day 0, without looking salesy. Me personally, I'd like to be sold on the first day. Please, your thoughts on this? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with selling on the first day. You certainly want to make that option available for sure. There's no benefit to holding back making a sale. People like buying. People enjoy buying. And so not making that offer, you're hurting yourself, obviously. But if you believe in your stuff, also you're hurting them, right? Like, look, I know this could come off arrogant, but like, I have a lot of confidence in my own ability to help businesses grow. Like, and so when I make an offer, like on stage or wherever, one, like, I don't like having to push people into my product. I don't like that at all. You either see the value or you don't. And if you don't, my life is not going to change, like, at all. But your life could dramatically. And so that's kind of the attitude I have. And I'm fortunate, I guess, that there's enough people that want to do business with me so that, like, I can get away with that attitude. But yeah, you should sell from day one. It's not about, like, look, you're in business to accomplish a result for people and make money, and they go hand in hand. So totally agree. I just found a bunch of binders binders that I put together with printed pages of your GPS program. Still great information and principles there, even though it's from 2008. You know, it's funny, Christopher, I was just looking at, because I was doing this thing with Alan and Jay, I actually pulled out all the homeworks from GPS, right? Because I kept them all, and I look through them from time to time because it helps me understand the market better, like the path that people took. The higher profits and beyond. Yep. Like Buzz Lightyear. I have plenty of polarizing points of view, but some of them are better left unsaid. Yeah, me too. Funnel hackers is an interesting identity label for a tribe. Yeah, it is, isn't it? By forever customer, you're referring to the forever transaction, how to build a subscription model so compelling your customers will never want to leave. Oh, wow. I thought it was called the forever customer, but I guess it's forever transaction. Is that a good book? Because that sounds like a damn good book. It sounds like a book I'd like to read. Dr. Vogelman, have you read it? Very good point about making someone else valuable with your content to the point where they share it. Yep. I'm stuck on my 5-year planning for evergreen affiliate products. How do I make legacy 5 years or older products that are still in demand, feel fresh, and not dated? Trader Rob, I'm not sure what you're asking me in this question. If you're asking me, how do you plan out evergreen affiliate products for 5 years in advance? You don't. And so I'm not sure, like, I wouldn't plan out 5 years because there's no way that you could have any idea, like, what the world's even going to be like in 5 years. Like, what platforms will be here, what platforms will not, yeah. You know, there are certain principles that will always remain timeless, but why would you, like, yeah, I'm not even sure, Rob, what you're asking me there. Sorry. Make them look smart by sharing their stuff. Yep. I found it helpful sometimes to take a piece of content that someone else has created, add my 2 cents to it in my own piece of content, at the same time acknowledging the original piece of content and shouting out the creator. That has helped me build friends and audiences in the past. That's a great idea, Cam. I dig it. And I've certainly met people who have done that with me. And yeah, I should probably do that more often too. So I do dig it. Thanks, Cam. Good point. Daryl, very useful. Thanks for saying all the nice stuff, Daryl. I have not read it, but it's in my Amazon cart. All right. Well, we'll race. But I'm going to F45 with my daughter these days, so I'm doing a little less time on the elliptical. I personally would prefer to have results sooner rather than later, and believe that most people would also. Yeah, of course. Only Stalin was able to work a 5-year plan. All right, so that covers 2 things, right? We went over the Maven manifesto. We went over the how to build authority, and there are some other ones like marquee clients. Let me just see if there's anything else that I have in my Evernote that I'd really like to share with you. And oh, but now it's all big. Let's see, a Gore copy course. No. All right. Let's see. I'd love to answer some questions. Anyone have a question? If not, maybe we'll wrap early again. Should we wrap early again, guys? Twice in 2 this week, but I guess it's all about the topic. I could dig for more stuff, but I think I've done enough. And but you guys tell me. You understood perfectly. I've been struggling with this for a while for the exact, You understood perfectly. I've been struggling with this for a while for the exact same reasoning. Predicting affiliate marketing strategy 5 years out is overextended. Yeah, it is. But why would you even predict a year out? Like, worry about maximizing sales today, right? I mean, unless you're already doing well, and you might. I have no idea. I don't know you. But if you're not doing well, then the goal is to start doing well. And if you're already doing well, then it is about extending it out. But I would think about things differently than the way you are. It's not like, yeah, I just don't even know why you would be doing that though. So that's the part that has me so confused. Is quarterly the best way to plan? Quarterly and then breaking it down from there. Sure. All right. Thanks, Rich. Working out what we need to do to improve. So what are you trying to improve, Mike Lee? And maybe I can help you. And let's see. I think, let's just see if there's anything else that I wanted to share. I don't think so. Cool. I was on, I just recorded another Entrepreneur on Fire podcast with John Lee Dumas. So that was fun. And so what do I think about launching in the summer? Once again, April, it depends on the audience. So, I wouldn't be marketing to kids in school during that time, obviously, but like for other people, it really depends. I wouldn't let it stop you. I would say that. But like, I wouldn't let it stop me. Let me put it that way. I think different businesses different markets require different things, but like in the internet marketing space, it slows down a little bit because parents spend time with their kids and stuff like that, but it doesn't come to a grinding halt. If you were to create yet another massive report, would you record a series of videos and then have it transcribed? It would be a mixture. What I would start with is probably the idea, right? And I'm thinking about I want to take my thoughts about opportunity seekers that I wrote about in the manifesto, and I want to combine that with this new thought I have about first mover advantage in online marketing tactics and strategies, which ties into Steal Our Winners really well. And I want to bring those two together. Believe it or not, the month of June was the 15-year anniversary of the manifesto. And I did not make any deal about it. I didn't even post anything about it, which I probably should have, but so be it. So I would write it. I would create a PowerPoint. I would share that PowerPoint. I'd get on the phone with Jay. I'd get on the phone with other friends, try and explain it to them, have them ask me questions, and go from there. The thing I'm doing right now, Dr. Vogelman, is I did a webinar for Jay Abraham and his clients for Steal Our Winners. And now so I just asked my team today to take the slides, take the transcript, and I want, because I used to do this on my own, I want the whatever was on the slide, whatever I said when that slide was up, I want that copied and pasted from the transcript in, so that I have a picture of every slide with all the words below. And then I will go in and totally change the webinar, tweak it, tighten it, everything, until I have it where I feel like it's dialed. And then I would record it again so that it would be final. And I would imagine a book or a report, I would kind of go about it in a similar way. So that's how I'd probably do it. But I wouldn't only release it as a report anymore. I would also release it as a video, as a series of videos, as an audio, as any which way. My audience is solo beauty biz owners, lots of busy moms. If their business really dives down during the summer, then that's a consideration. If not, then I wouldn't let it worry you. Any advice for my startup print on demand? I'm on GrooveCart and Amazon. Well, what are you printing on demand? I guess that really kind of matters. Hey, Rich, you said you had no product when the manifesto went out. At what point did you have an offer? I'm thinking of using the strategy for my business since the time is right for my market. A month later. I was already coaching people, but the coaching program had ended. There was no list. There was no sales letter for that coaching program because I pitched it at an event. Yeah. So it was a month. But there was like, I think it could have been even longer. Like, I mean, I think it was a month, but maybe it was 5 weeks. But back then it could have even gone longer, and I don't think it would have been a problem. Nowadays, I think it has to be tighter. People have a shorter attention span, and they forget stuff. And you can't hold attention that long. Making an emotional connection, business page personality, I suppose. Although we do highlight success stories, we probably don't do it enough. I'm also not a fan of the vulnerable complaining style, etc. Well, there's a difference between complaining and being vulnerable, and that's what I'm trying to get a better understanding of. Back to the highlighting of success stories, maybe you're not dimensionalizing like the implications of that change. It's one thing to say, right, like I helped this person make an extra $100,000, right? It's another thing to say they were a week from getting like thrown out of their house. He had already told his daughter that he wasn't going to be able to send her to private school next year. Like, you know, all these horrible things, you know, if we're talking about making money. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, John signed up for our program, and here, like within the first 60 days, he made X. He was able to tell his daughter, you are going back to private school. He was able, like, you know, you're like, you need to create details that, like, you know, have people feeling bad for the customer, then rooting for the customer, then celebrating the win, etc. Like, so you might not be doing a very good job, Mike. You might, but I doubt it. Yeah, like really kind of conveying the story the right way. We have launch planned for the end of July, but I keep hear my existing students say they are overwhelmed and distracted with summer activities, so I'm second guessing it. Well, maybe you do like an elite level, April, for people like a higher level one, knowing that you're not going to sell that many, but the people that will partake would be less, but probably have more working for them, because my life doesn't change summer, winter, whatever. And, you know, I have people who help me with stuff. So I would say that maybe you have a higher end one, kind of set a higher price point, which will then make the one that comes later, like in September or whenever, seem cheaper. Something to think about there. Excellent stuff. Thank you. You're welcome. Rich, a good angle headline for internet marketing on Facebook that's compliant. Dude, like internet marketing is a pretty vague thing, man. Would you say that a shorter webinar, say 20 minutes, perform better than a 2-hour marathons? It totally depends. And I think, Dr. Vogelman, it really matters when you get to the pitch. I don't think the overall amount of time matters. The sooner you get to the pitch, the better. But then once you've gotten to the pitch, going a lot longer is totally fine. In fact, you generally sell more with a long Q&A, several hours. Like, it doesn't matter. It's all about I would try and get to the pitch in 20 minutes if you could. Not too late. It's still the anniversary year of it. That's true. Vulnerability gives you more ability to connect. Yep. Yes, it's my higher level launch. Thank you. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is do a high level launch, like higher than what you were even planning on doing. Then do the one you were planning on doing in July, do it in August. And so just switch the order, and if you don't have a higher level, have a higher level or make a premium version of what you were going to do. Rich, you're in the internet marketing niche, yes. But my question is, when you attract new leads to your business, you approach them like A, internet marketing strategies for internet marketers, or B, business opportunities through internet marketing work from home. I do A. I don't like doing B. I know that B drives a lot of our industry, and we will send out promotions that are more B than A, and they will do very well. We're very selective in the ones that we choose because, like, most opportunities do not come in a box. They just don't. And so I'm not a big fan of BizOp. And it pains me to even be associated with BizOp because I'm so not that. But yeah, that's my answer, Giancarlo. Trader Rob, currently my pod is slinging products. I do organic marketing currently and building a following. I'm trying to build out omni-channel strategy, but don't know how for print on demand. But what are you printing on demand? Is it like novelty items? Like, like, is it for companies to give like as favors? Is it like for books? Like what are you printing on demand? Great. Thanks. Got it. I'll have to brainstorm a bit. Yeah, totally. All right, guys. I think we're at a good place. 7:30. It's been an hour and a half. We don't always have to go to 2 hours. Yeah, that's BizOp seems to attract the easy button crowd. Yeah, that's the problem. That's my problem with it. It's like screams of a naiveness that like you have to like for a business to thrive, you have to create value, and that value has to be worth more in the eyes of many than the money that you get for it. And if that's not the case, then and most business opportunities, business in a box, are not based on that. They're not based on the transference of value. They're based on bullshit. That's why I hate it. Yep, sounds good. Stick a fork in it. Thank you, Rich. All right, to higher profits and beyond. This is Rich Schefrin, over and out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for deciding to spend some time with me. I really hope this was helpful. I do this to help people. As you know, there's no CTA here. There's no call to action. I will put the Maven manifesto in the Facebook group. I'm probably not going to do it right away. I want to go say hello to my family since I've been up here in my office for the last, God knows, 10 hours or whatnot. But I will post it to the Facebook group. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for giving me questions and sharing and feedback. And I will be back on Tuesday. If you're a Steal Our Winners subscriber, we just posted the new issue. If you're not, you should check it out. The prices will be going up shortly. And join our Facebook group if you're not a member. See you guys Tuesday to higher profits and beyond.